Good morning, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of Thought number 1293. I should say good day, everybody, because not everybody that's watching is in California or even in the United States. So I thought I'd say hi. Hi to, I know Sam Afra sometimes comes by, John Clark, and all the people that come by. Yesterday I saw, oh gosh, was it Nancy Saunders or Odette Minders? I saw her. Hey, girl, come here. I'm not talking to Odette Minders. I'm talking to little Fira over here. Come on, Fira. Come on. Want to jump over? Come on, jump over. Come on, jump over. Jump over. No, you just want to take the computer and send it. No, you can't do that. No. Alrighty. So we'll just start here. Linley Baker wrote Trust Your Intuition to Reach Your Life Dreams, which is chapter 11 in Wickedly Smart Women. Trusting intuition, taking action, transforming worlds. An anthology by Angel B. Hartwell. All right, so here there's something about the author, Linley Baker, and here's her photo. Let's see if I can get it in the middle and horizontally. There we go. Horizontal, and see if I can't get it closer to the screen. I don't know if I can, but anyway, my cat is on my lap now, so scaredy cats welcome, says the background. Linley Baker grew up in Massachusetts, about 60 miles from where her Hopkins ancestors landed on the Mayflower in 1620. After graduating with high honors from the Wharton School of Business of the University of Pennsylvania, Linley pursued a successful actuarial career, a bean counter, applied mathematics, in insurance. She earned fellowship in the Society of Actuaries, bean counter, I say, like a PhD in applied math at age 25. Ooh. After becoming a mother, Linley quit corporate work to raise her children, eventually numbering 6 in 4 countries: Japan, China, France, and the United States. She is multilingual in Japanese, French, and Spanish. I know Mandarin would have been really hard to learn because it's a tonal language. I think it takes the other side of the brain than the other languages. I think. Not sure though. She earned a Master of Music Viola Performance degree from Ball State University while the children were home. Linley returned to her profession in 2012, and in only 5 years, she was promoted to full vice president. Linley shares that unconventional career paths are possible and sometimes better through her company Linfluence LLC. Her first book is for everyone. Now, Linfluence is L-I-N, Fluence. All right. Her first book is for everyone. Don't be afraid to do what you really want to do. Reach all your life dreams, and is available on Amazon. She has a related keynote speech, Reaching Your Life Dreams. Her second book is currently in process, Betrayed, Not Trashed. It is about how to deal with trials like divorce and keep up your self-worth. She already presents a related speech, Finding Grace in Trials, which is a speech hyphenated by classical music that she performs. Linley currently lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, with Puccini, her Havanese puppy, and works as an actuary, speaker, and math tutor. Connect with Linley at www.linfluence.pro. There we are. So that's about her. That's the author of this chapter. All right, and this chapter, once again, is called Trust Your Intuition to Reach Your Life Dreams. In high school, I took the usual career insights test, which was graded by a computer. It told me I should be a college math professor, but I knew as I read the results that they were wrong. I loved math, but I was not interested in endless research and 17th dimensional math problems. If I were to work with math, I wanted a more practical use of it, solving real life problems. Computers are great at many things, but one of them is not intuition. It could understand our abilities and aptitudes, but it could not understand our feelings and ideas about them. I was particularly introspective as a junior in high school, knowing it would I would soon need to choose a college and a focus or major that would affect my whole future life. I focused on my three life dreams, my three M's. I knew I wanted to be a mathematician, a musician, and a mother. My intuition told me these would make me happy. I have used these as guiding stars and figured out how to live out these dreams as the years have gone by. The first M, math, was my favorite subject in school. I was always ahead and even competed in the mathlete team at high school. Yes, math for fun. Music was a huge part of my life. I started piano lessons at age 4, taught by my grandmother, and viola at age 10, taught by my mother. I performed in choirs and orchestras and as a soloist in high school. She must have been good. My last M, motherhood, would wait, so it was time to decide if it would be math or music for college. My intuition told me I would like either, but I had to choose a primary one. I finally thought, I don't know what my future will be, so it would be better to study something which would lead to a job that has a high chance of supporting myself. Math has more jobs, so I chose that over music. Ooh, M math. What's going on with the cats? Esri? No. Esri, do you really want me to get you a water bottle again? No? Good. Come down. Don't chase Dea. Come on. Sorry. Math has more jobs, so I chose that over music. M. Math. My father became aware of a type of mathematician called actuaries, through his work for an insurance company. He introduced this career to me thus: if you want to work with math, apply it to something practical and not be discriminated against. Be an actuary. I was intrigued. It was a practical application of mathematics. My dad said that people didn't care whether you were male or female, just whether you could do the complex calculations. So I studied actuarial math and business at the Wharton School and started on the long series of exams for certification. After college graduation, he was a smart man. After college graduation, I landed a job as an actuary for national. It has a nation and hyphen, so I go. Anyway, so it's Nationwide Insurance in Columbus, Ohio. I loved tackling complex mathematical problems. I solved them not just for workable numbers, but also used my creativity for great business solutions. M. Motherhood. I met my future husband there in Ohio, and we married when I was 21 years old. In a couple years, we had our first of 6 children, a son. Motherhood. I always knew I wanted to raise my children myself. I wanted them to learn morals, religion, reading, to love learning and music. I wanted to raise my children more than I wanted my career. This is how I wanted to live motherhood. So she says, this is how I wanted to live motherhood. That's what she says. So I was willing to risk not making my career goal. I knew I was limiting my number of working years and even risking not returning. I thought that if I had my children while I was young, I might still have career time left after they grew up. That's smart too. So, at the end of maternity leave after my second son was born, I resigned my beloved position with Nationwide Insurance. That was really hard. It was the only time in my adult life that I stuttered. I want to terminate my position. I trusted my intuition that I would be happier in spite of the sadness of leaving my job. I also hoped that I could eventually resume my career, but not until my children grew up. Everyone said that it wasn't possible. To leave for a couple of years and come back was possible, though it might be hard. Many people have done that. To leave for a generation, impossible. I decided that I wanted to make it possible. I wanted motherhood and my math career so much that I decided to do both. Maybe it wasn't impossible. George Bernard Shaw stated, you see things that are and say why, but I dream things that never were and say why not. Interesting. That's a great quote. She highlights these quotes too. I don't know if you can tell what. Anyway, M. Music. When my youngest child entered first grade, I started to have some time to myself. I wasn't ready to return to full time work. I had 6 children, ages 6 to 16, and that was a lot more than full time work. But there was some discretionary time during the day when the children were at school. I was also thinking about my obituary. I wanted to be sure it said something about music. I figured that if I got a degree in music, my family would remember to include music in my obit. Rather than working on a bucket list of cool things to do, I focus on who I want to become. And I hope that it will and I hope that will be reflected in my obituary. Uh, that's actually a really key way of um, setting goals in life is what do you want your obituary to say? That's a really clever way. Anyway, she says, my intuition told me that music would help me feel happy and fulfilled. So, at age 39, I auditioned for a master's degree in viola performance at a local university. I was accepted and dove in. I loved making and studying great music with other adults. I was surprised by the effect on me from studying music. I found my capacities increased. I was happier and more fulfilled. I was able to better serve my family because I spent part of each day fulfilling my passion, my dream in music with a capital M. Here you go. I was happy. I was so happy to fulfill my third M dream in music, hoping to return. Even though everyone told me that it was impossible to get back to professional work after such a long break, I was hoping for it anyway. My intuition told me it was worth a try. Here's another quote. Henry Ford wisely stated, if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. Interesting, huh? Hope. I found opportunities to teach actuarial science and math, and to volunteer in actuarial education, capital A, capital E. Hope gave me the power to fit them into my already busy life, raising 6 children. Hope is power. Would it work? Would I be able to return to my beloved career? Here's another quote. Zig Ziglar quipped, those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by others doing it. Excuse me while I try to get this piece of dust out of my eye. Trying to return. After 19 years, I was ready to return to corporate work, but 6 months of job searching yielded nothing. Everyone wanted recent experience. I screamed in my mind, how can I get recent experience if no one will hire me? Finally, I found a company that was willing to interview me, not for my actuarial abilities, but because they were looking for an actuary who spoke English, an Asian language, and a European language. I knew English, Japanese, and French from living overseas and trying to make friends, so they were willing to interview me. In the interview, we talked about what I had done to keep up, often for little or no money, over the past 2 decades. They were impressed and decided to give me a chance. I was so excited. Here's another quote. As Elmo, as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it. Return to work. Now it was time to see, could I actually do the job I had left almost 2 decades before? I was excited but nervous to resume corporate work. But I also had 19 years of catching up to do regarding the day to day work. All the software and hardware had changed. I found that I had a lot of questions, stupid questions, things I thought I would not have to ask if I had been to college in the past 5 years in almost any major. To live with myself, I had to set a limit. I could ask a particular stupid question only once. So I documented the answer and made sure I understood it. Then, only 7 months into my job, I was promoted to manager. How did that happen? It turned out that all the organizational and leadership skills I developed in the family and the community prepared me for business leadership as well. Virtual antennas. I learned that the key is to keep all your life dreams in your vision, even if something is not currently an active part of your life. Erect one virtual antenna for each dream. This sets you up This sets you up to jump on opportunities that may fit with a dream that is not currently your focus. That's a good idea. If I had not been thinking about my actuarial career when I was a full time mother, I may have missed the opportunities I had to work part time in math, and then have missed the opportunity to resume my career. If I had not been thinking about music, I might not have gone back to school for it. Balancing goals through life. You can have the career you want and reach your personal goals too. Just maybe not everything all at once. Take time to be re- Take time to be self-reflective and decide what major things you want to do with your life. What made you what might you really regret near the end of your life if you never did it? That's a good one. This woman is smart. My goodness. What makes you happy? What dream did you give up long ago? Excuse me. What a question. I can't take it. Joking. Take time to be self reflective and decide what major things you want to do with your life. What might you really regret near the end of your life if you never did it? What makes you happy? What dream did you give up long ago? These ideas are usually not random or spurious. They are your intuition giving you direction for your life. For me, with three dreams, there were always that were they were always there, but my priority of each changed with each season of life. I always had my antenna up for music and math opportunities. Even if it is just a background thought process, you're still connected to your dream. Fear. Often, people are afraid to try something new, even if they think that they will like it, out of fear of failure. Things are usually not as scary as they might feel at first. I think it is important to replace feelings with thinking to assess what would be the worst consequence of your efforts not working out, or of realizing it wasn't what you wanted after all. I had to co- I had to overcome a lot of fear to return to actuarial work. If your intuition is telling you you like something, listen to it. You will probably find something you love. It's not about being wait. If your intuition is telling you you like something, listen to it. You will probably find something you love. It's not about not being afraid. It is about not being too afraid to do what you really want to do. I love how she italicizes words. When life knocks you down, she underlines those things too. In May of 2019, my husband of 35 years suddenly left me and our whole life together. He quit our church that we had been so dedicated to. He quit our gym So I got all his unpaid personal training. Ha ha. Most of all, I couldn't comprehend at first that he was leaving me. We had gotten married in a ceremony that was forever, not just until death do you part. And we had a great marriage, great companionship, 6 children, lived internationally, made music as a family, and enjoyed lots of great conversations about ideas and how to live our lives. Major shock. I accepted his choice to live as he wanted. I tried to embrace a single life. I enjoyed directing the choir at church, joined a symphony orchestra, and got a cute female Havanese puppy for companionship. I went on a new single trip by myself to Hawaii in October, just days after the divorce was final, and was just starting to catch my balance on the carpet of single life. Then at the end of that month, my boss told me that she was laying me off. This was another great shock. Now, as a single person, I could not rely on my spouse's income while I searched for a new position, as I had done several times for my husband. With my world upside down, I felt that the carpet of life ripped out from under me. I felt that carpet of life of excuse me. With my world upside down, I felt that carpet of single life ripped out from under me, and I was flailing. 2020 will be better. It was such a bad year, I just wanted it to be over. So I started getting excited to have a new year. I told people I knew 2020 would be better than 2019. I was sure of it. I had no husband to lose and no job to lose, so it couldn't be worse. And while 2020 was a terrible year for most people, it was better than 2019 for me. When you have no income and no other means of support, you have to move where there is no mortgage or rental fee. As part of my divorce settlement, I received a home in Utah debt free. At first, I was really depressed about having to move there, but a good friend remarked what a blessing it was to have a home available, and I realized I really needed to be thankful. Yes, she did. There's a lot of women that go into a homeless shelter after, in fact, I know a statistic that they used to say, which was that a divorced couple, the woman's standard of living usually went down by 40%, and the man's standard of living went correspondingly up after a divorce. So that's something to know about for women, for sure. I tried to look at the bright side and decided that the loss of my husband and job was a gift of time to write my book that I had been planning for a long time. Don't be afraid to do what you really want to do. Reach all your life dreams. That's her title. I had been wronged, but decided to embrace change rather than fight for recompense. It freed me up to move forward. I set a goal to not think about my divorce all the time. At some future point, I wasn't ready right then, but my intuition told me I wanted to get there. I studied how to do that. I learned that the best way was to have something new to think about. Writing my book turned out to be my solution. As I thought about how and what to write, that finally released my brain from constantly figuring out my new identity. Betrayed, not trashed. Major challenges often come with new labels, ones we might not like. Divorcee, widow, cripple, cancer survivor, and so on. But I was betrayed, not trashed. People betrayed probably have new problems, but their worth cannot change. Divorcee is not my core identity. I am a good, beautiful human, a child of God of infinite worth. Nothing that anyone does to me can change that. We must not let such labels take over our identity. Our most important names or labels reflect our core goodness and worth. Our intuition tells us who we really are. We must trust in it to preserve our self worth. I'm glad I trusted my intuition. Last paragraph. As I reached my dreams in the three M's, I experienced joy and fulfillment, and it helped me see myself as I really am in the hard times. What about you? What are your life dreams? Trust your intuition about what you would really like to do. It will guide you to happiness, fulfillment, and confidence and your true self. This is Linley Baker, Linley Baker. All right, so that's where we are today in Wickedly Smart Women Wednesday, Words and Wisdom Wednesday. Alrighty, you guys, I will talk to you again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a rules day. And my cats are quiet suddenly now. They are, I think the tempo of the story really got them quiet again. I don't know what happened at the beginning. It was sort of like, and then now they're, they actually had a food coma a little while ago. I woke up and after their 8 hours of not eating anything, I gave them two bites to eat rather than one. Normally, I give them one, and they all wound up in a food coma. I thought Dea, I was a little afraid for her. She was up there, and her eyes were open, and she was not moving. And I called her name a few times, Dea, Dea, and she wasn't moving. Even her eyes didn't move. And I thought, oh my gosh, what happened? Finally, I saw her breathing. So I go, oh, thank goodness. And then her breathing slowed as I was talking to her. So I figured that she was growing calmer. And then finally her eyes moved. But then I saw Esri. Esri had her eyes open like that too. And then the cat that was sitting there near Dea, she was sitting and her eyes were like that. So I go, okay, Chloe, are you in a food coma too? Okay. Old Kinderhook.